Hello, in this video we're going to look at the two premillennial positions, premillennial dispensationalism and historic premill. Let's define terms. Premillennial dispensationalism, this position arose late in church history, although proponents would claim that they're simply returning to the view held by the early church, which they say was more or less lost up until the 1800s. This view, premillennial dispensationalism, believes that Jesus returns, in a sense, twice. First in the clouds at the pre-tribulational rapture to take the church to heaven, then again 7 years later at the second advent where he comes to the earth, Jesus does, to set up his kingdom. Premill, the term, refers to Jesus coming before the 1,000-year literal kingdom on the earth. It says that we are currently living in the church age, which represents a parenthesis between the old covenant and the future millennial kingdom. According to premillennial dispensationalists, the kingdom is completely future, and the kingdom ethic is exemplified in the Sermon on the Mount. Premill dispensationalism teaches two completely different programs of redemption, one for Israel and one for the church. There will be a future kingdom for Israel where Jesus reigns from Jerusalem with a rebuilt temple and the reinstitution of animal sacrifices. This position says that the kingdom is a Jewish time and the church should not be looking forward to it, because the promises to the church are heavenly, while the promises to Israel are earthly. So the kingdom age is a Jewish time. Jesus will reign for 1,000 years while Satan is bound. At the end of the 1,000 years, Satan is loosed to lead one final rebellion, which is crushed. The heavens and the earth then pass away with a great white throne judgment that comes after the kingdom, followed by the new heaven and the new earth. So that is the position known as premillennial dispensationalism. Now, let's talk about historic premill. Historic premillennialism, like the dispensationalist view, believes that Jesus returns before the kingdom and establishes his earthly reign for 1,000 years. The main difference, though, is this view does not hold to a pre-tribulational rapture. Historic premillennialism instead holds to a post-tribulational rapture, which in that system, the rapture and the second advent are essentially the same thing because the church is caught up to come right back down. Also, the historic premill position does not see a distinction between the church and Israel. Historic premill believes that the church is the new Israel, or the new spiritual Israel. This position, historic premill, teaches that the New Testament church is the initial phase of the kingdom, but the fullness of the kingdom is not ushered in until Christ returns to earth. This view, as does the other, believes there will be a final falling away of faith, a time of apostasy where the church is filled with corruption and unbelief. This leads to the time known as the Great Tribulation. Christ returns at the end of the tribulation to defeat the armies of Antichrist, resurrect the dead, and establish his kingdom on the earth. This view takes Revelation chapters 19 through 21 literally, and again is very similar to the dispensationalist view, except for its views of the timing of the rapture and its view on the church versus Israel. Okay, so what are my thoughts? What position do I hold? Normally, I would say that I fall into the historic premill camp, except that I don't believe in a post-tribulational rapture, and I do see a distinction between the church and Israel. So with those 2 points, I do not agree with historic premill. I would fall in the dispensational side. But I think the reinstitution of animal sacrifices is highly problematic, and I don't think the kingdom age is exclusively a Jewish time. I believe the New Testament church gets in on those promises. So I'm sort of half and half, and I do think there is a spiritual kingdom, so to speak. I don't think the kingdom is completely future, but Jesus rules and reigns in the hearts of his people, type of a thing. So Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you. So I don't think it's exclusively for the future. So that's my take. I tend to think historic pre-mill is a little more accurate, but I do think a distinction between the church and Israel is appropriate, and I am pre-trib. Okay, thanks for watching. Till next time, may the Lord be with you. Have a great day.